Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, we're going to do another episode of Bites and Nibbles with Breck today. Today we are going to make molten brownie pudding. Now I know, I don't do a whole lot of desserts, but you know what? I kind of thumbed through my recipe book and saw this one, and I thought it looked pretty good, and I said, you know what? Let's try it. So let's take a look at the ingredients. These are the ingredients for our molten brownie pudding. We're going to start off with some sugar, some flour, some unsweetened Hershey's cocoa, some semi-sweet chocolate chips, a little vanilla extract, some butter, some eggs, and a little salt for flavor. One of the things that kind of attracted me to this recipe is that it seems like it's a really simple one. It takes a little time to cook it in the Instant Pot, but putting it together, it seemed like it was a pretty simple little thing. So let's get going. Now, one of the little issues I ran into with this video was that it requires a souffle pan, and not just a souffle pan, but a 6 to 7 inch souffle pan. And I didn't have one of those, and I looked around a bit and I couldn't find one. I went to Walmart, I went to Target, I went to Bed Bath & Beyond, I went to a place called World Market that has some little quirky things like that, but nobody could help me. So I guess if there's an enormous call for souffle pans in the future, I may need to order one from Amazon or something like that. But I wasn't able to find one for this case, so we're going to have to improvise a little bit. I have a snap pan that I've used a few times for cooking breads and stuff like that. It's a little bit larger than the 6 to 7 inches. It's about 9 inches. So because of that, I'm going to double the recipe just because I've got a little bit more space that I got to fill up, and hey, it sounds good anyway, so more is better, right? Oh, and did I mention we're doing this in the Instant Pot? Now, one of the things I mentioned in the recipe book is that if your souffle pan, in this case my snap pan, doesn't have handles on the side of it, that they recommend that you improvise one by using a piece of aluminum foil, folded in half 2 times to make a nice long strip. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the snap pan on top of that, and these are going to become my handles. Now I'm going to start off by melting 7 tablespoons of butter in the microwave. This is basically a whole stick, and the butter itself is going to be divided into 2 parts. The first part, 1 tablespoon, is going to be used to provide a little lubricant for my snap pan, and then the rest of it will actually be mixed in with the brownie mix as a little later in the process. So I'm going to nuke this in the microwave for about 45 seconds just to make it all nice and liquid, and then we're going to brush it onto my snap pan over here. Alright, so I'm going to take about a tablespoon of my butter, maybe a little bit more because it's a slightly larger pan, and pour it in there, and we're just going to kind of move it around with the basting brush, get all the sides nice and covered. Like I said, this is going to kind of help everything to not stick to the inside. Don't want that, right? And then we're going to save the rest of that butter for later. And next I'm going to put 2 cups of sugar and 4 eggs into my mixer with the whisk tool. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to put it into the mixer, and we're just going to mix it up for a little bit until the mixture turns nice and yellow. They say 3 to 5 minutes. In the past, people have complimented my ability to crack an egg with one hand, but I'll tell you, it sure comes in handy when you're doing a vlog and got to hold the camera with the other. And while my eggs and sugar are mixing, I'm going to combine my cocoa powder, my flour, and my salt into a small mixing bowl, and I'm just going to whisk it together until it's well combined. The recipe basically says just combine it together until there aren't any more lumps. And I don't see any more lumps. Next I'm going to combine my cocoa powder and flour mixture with the eggs and sugar mixture and kind of blend it together just until it's mixed. which shouldn't take long. Next, we're going to add about a teaspoon of our vanilla extract. I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. And the rest of my butter. And once again, we're going to mix that until everything's kind of combined. And next, I'm going to combine all that and pour that into my snap pan. Use a rubber scraper, make sure we get everything in there because we want every last drop of this. And I'm going to kind of just smooth it all out here so that it's all nice and level here. Don't want to have any thick spots and thin spots, right? Yeah, this smells good. And that's pretty much ready to go there now. We got one more special ingredient to put in here, and I'll show you what that is. And that last ingredient is our chocolate chips. We're going to put about half a cup, and we're just going to kind of get them evenly distributed across the top here. This is going to make it taste extra good. No such thing as too much chocolate, right? Alright, that's ready to go. Next thing I'm going to do is prepare the Instant Pot by putting the water in there that we're going to use to create the steam and the pressure. Now I'm going to insert my steam rack on top of this because while we want to have the snap pan in the Instant Pot so we can get access to the pressure, we don't want to have any of the water seep into the bottom of the pan, which might happen with a snap pan. So by putting the little steam rack here, that's going to lift it above the water level and the pan won't actually be sitting in the water. Now I'm going to modify this recipe a little bit because at the end of the recipe they say when you remove the lid after the cooking process, you want to make sure that none of the condensation that's built up on the underside of the lid drips into the pan because that'll kind of ruin things. And since this pan is about the same size as the inside of the inner pan in the Instant Pot, I'm concerned that it might inadvertently drip. So I'm going to cover half of it with aluminum foil so if any condensation does drip, it'll end up in the aluminum foil and not in the brownie mix. And now I've just inserted the whole mixture into the Instant Pot using my little handmade handles here. I'm going to put the lid on the Instant Pot, close and lock it. We're going to put it in pressure cook for 30 minutes. At high pressure, we're already there, and we're going to let it do its thing for 30 minutes. I'll see you in 30 minutes. All right, 30 minutes have elapsed, and we are going to quick release. And the pin is dropped. Safe to open the lid. Now, like I said, we're going to still try and be careful with the condensation so that we don't drip anything onto our pot. But yeah, I think we're going to look okay here. Yeah, steamed up the camera. I always seem to be able to be good at doing that. But man, that looks good, doesn't it? Yummy, yummy, yummy. Let's get that thing out of here. Now we got to let it cool for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to put it on an oven pad and let it cool for a couple minutes. So I'll catch up with you in a couple. All right, taste test time, and I can tell you this thing smells fantastic. Actually, I'm going to get you. Let's just look a little up close at this here. Look at that! Holy cow! Let's get that focused in really well here so you can see it. Nice and moist looking. Smells fantastic. In fact, I've got some whipped cream out here because I suspect that will just enhance it. Probably be good with vanilla ice cream too, but let's do the all-important taste test. All right, yeah, let's try this out. Nice and moist. Oh man, that is fantastic. That's so good, this should be illegal. Mmm. I do want to taste it with a whipped cream on it, because that could only make it better, right? Maybe a little vanilla ice cream. I don't have any vanilla ice cream, so we're gonna have to suffer with it this way. Oh yeah, fantastic. Definitely a winner. This is probably one of the best things I've ever done in the Instant Pot. If you love chocolate brownies and chocolate pudding and that kind of stuff, you are gonna love this. Oh man, this is almost addictive. Oh yeah, definitely recommend this one. This is probably, like I said, one of the best things I've ever made in the Instant Pot. You got to try this. If you love chocolate, you're gonna love this. So I'm gonna put this definitely in the description below. Check it out if you like it, and let me know. And until then, I think that's all that I have for today. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Bon appetit.